Dharma teachings. Homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable Mang Liao Ming. Homage to Master Sakya Tsung Kong. Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And homage to Master Thubten Dorji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. And homage to the main deity of Homa today, Green Tara, 21 Taras, and Tara dispels epidemics. Tanzan Katso, Tutan Siddhi, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, directors of temples and chapters, and all disciples present here and over the webcast. How do you do? Good afternoon. How do you do?
Aisteru. Hola amigo. Te quiero mucho. Sugoi. Ichiban. Kimochi ii. Jumi. Yapi. Purin purin. Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa. Now, I would like to announce for next Sunday, June 28th, at 3 p.m. we will have the Homa fire offering ceremony of Amughapasa Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. Someone asked here about the lasso. In Buddhism, when they mention about this lasso, is about gaining or obtaining. So in Buddhism, this lasso means like to bind. So if you bind them, then you get them. So that's the meaning. We often see deities with many hands, and one of them would be holding a lasso, which means to bind or to get or to obtain. So the Amughapasa Avalokitesvara, which is the non-empty lasso, means that your prayer will not return empty-handed. So it exists and it's bound. So therefore, if you become the primary supplicant for this deity, then you would get whatever you wish for. Every time when I perform the Amughapasa Avalokitesvara Homa, there are always many, many primary supplicants. Because most sentient beings, they have wishes. And in order for them to have their wish fulfilled, they have to become the primary supplicant for Amughapasa. So therefore, this deity is very desirable, very welcomed by true Buddha school disciples. Because every time we perform his Homa, that many prayers and wishes are fulfilled. This deity is a very dignified Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, holding a lasso. So your wish will not return empty-handed, because it is bound by the lasso. And this is a joke about Father's Day. Do you remember when we were in high school? At night, we were playing until 11:30 at night before we go back home. And as I was walking on the road by myself, all of a sudden, I saw under a street lamp at the distance there is a fuzzy shadow, and my eyes teared, my heart felt warm, that it's so late and yet he's still waiting for me. This is the person I love most, which is my dad. However, as he was waiting for me, he is holding a stick or a bat. But we can understand that when we were young, our parents were very strict to us. However, their motive, although they were very strict and disciplined, but it's because they love us. Because of their love, they do that. So, the fact that we can grow, it's because of the care of our parents. Toward our father and mother, we have to respect and love them, because we came from our own father and mother. Therefore, we need to know to pay them filial piety. When your parents are still alive, you may not be able to understand their love towards you. And when they have gone, at that time, it would be too late to talk about loving them or being filial to them. So today is Father's Day, and I would like to tell everybody, as the children of our parents, we have to be filial toward them. Now, let's do the question and answer again. Master, in your book number 78, Household Feng Shui 2, you wrote about the ritual of suppressing negative energy using the heavenly water. One places a bowl upright at the center of the roof ridge or at the center of the house. The bowl can be glued to the roof with some cement or super glue to fix it. Then pour the rootless water into the bowl, water that has not touched the ground. My questions are, 1. Nowadays in the cities we live in apartments or condos, or in houses with metal roofs. How should we place the bowl? If you live in apartments or condos inside the big building, then you don't need to, no chance for this ritual. Just forget it. So our blanket in the past is filled with cotton, and because this ritual of suppressing negative energy using heavenly water should be done, can only be used for single house. Or condo with your own roof. And if there is a water tank on top of the roof, then you can try to place it on top of that water tank. So for single house, you can place it at the center of the roof ridge or the center of the small house. Or the shed or the hut. So if you don't live in the top floor of the apartments or condos, it's impossible for you to do that. So the center of the root ridge, is it the center of my own unit or of the whole floor? That's not right. If you have a single house, then you can do this ritual. But if you're part of a big building, there's no need to do this. Because my guru never taught it like that. Because there's so many units in the building. Some in the east, west, north or south. That would be difficult. Second question. The rootless top, the rootless water atop the roof will be subjected to the elements with the wind and sun, especially in the summer. It will evaporate in no time. Should I cover it? Let me tell you, even if you cover it, the water will still evaporate. What is the rootless water? Is rainwater before touching the ground. So water without root. And that's called the rootless water. Rain from the clouds before touching the ground. And yet you place the bowl. It's okay. Even if it's dry, sometimes it rains, right? When it rains, it will be full. And then you cover it. Then you think that the water will stay the same. The water will still evaporate. Even the water that you place at your altar, after a few days, it would dry up too. You have to add water. And for the rootless water, the place, the date that you place that bowl is very important. And then you fill it with rootless water and place it. And then just ignore it. That already has its effect. And then when it rains again, it will be filled again. So if you cover it, then there's no more water, rootless water. That's what my guru taught me. The rootless water atop the roof will be subjected to the elements with the wind and sun, especially in the summer. There is no need to cover it, because my guru, my feng shui guru, told me. He didn't teach me to cover it. Or should I just let it be? That's right. Because the key point is in the practice, the visualization of the empowerment of the three lights into the water, which transforms this water into pure water, and the pure water into an unending stream of purity. And because of this unending stream, it will be ever present even if our physical eyes cannot see the water. So when it rains, it would be an unending stream. The next question. Can this ritual of suppressing negative energy using heavenly water be used only on irregular houses with protruding framework, or for houses or units arranged irregularly with neighbor's wall cutting into the house like a knife? So if you have done this ritual, then all the negative energy of the house will be suppressed. So there is no more negative energy. This is about feng shui. So irregular houses with protruding framework, and also houses with neighbor's wall cutting into the house like a knife. All their negative energy can be suppressed this way. Can you please instruct us again on this ritual? He asked me to instruct again about this ritual of suppressing negative energy using heavenly water. Anyone has done it before? Anyone has seen this? Please raise your hand. Do you know how to do it? You forgot. Then just don't say anything. Anyone that remembers about this ritual of suppressing negative energy using heavenly water? It's already written in the book very clearly. Why don't you read the book? It's also in the dbboye.org, book number 78, Household Feng Shui 2. I believe it was written very clearly, so it's meaningless to just repeat it here. The next question. Can this ritual of suppressing negative energy using heavenly water to suppress the coronavirus to protect the home? This is feng shui. This ritual is because the house has some negative energy. We use this bowl ritual to suppress the negative energy. So using the rootless water and the heavenly water to suppress the negative energy. But my feng shui guru never told me that it can suppress the coronavirus. Is coronavirus, is virus related to feng shui, to the house? Is the virus related to feng shui? Let me ask. Let me consult spiritually.
请问，这个网功法、天水压煞法，可以压制新冠状病毒？
The ball ritual, the ritual of suppressing negative energy using heavenly water. Can it suppress the coronavirus? No.
它只是不能，因为你已
The
经离
answer
开
is
房子，
no.
在外面感染，
Because you got infected outside the house, so it's not related to the house at all.
这奇怪，这个大家问的问题都
So strange, the questions people ask. But it's all right.
老师问小朋友，
The
小朋友，
teacher
你们
asks
觉得《
the
西游记》
student,
里哪一个角色最厉害？
in the journey to the
小马
west,
回答
which
是
character
孙悟空，
is the
他会
greatest?
七十二
Xiaohua said, the Monkey King,
小
because he
英
could
回答
transform into 72
观世音
different
菩萨才厉害。
forms. Xiao Ying said, Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, because she can chant the mantra.
小雪回答，佛祖才厉害。他的
And
伸
Xiao
手
Xie
一
said,
拍，
the Buddha
就变成
is the
五
most
指山，
incredible
把孙悟空
because
那500年，
with one slap he could tie the Monkey King down for 500 years.
孙悟空的
And
爸
Xiao Ming
爸才
said,
厉害，
So the Monkey King's dad was the most
都能够搞到
incredible
怀孕。
that he could make a rock pregnant
因为是孙悟空是石头蹦
because
出
the
来
Monkey King came out from the rock.
所以他讲，小明回答孙悟空的爸爸才厉害。老实讲，大家讲的这都对。
And
小
the
明
teacher said
出去罚站，
everybody else was right, but Xiaoming get out and stand
这个小明总是出这个怪
as
点。
punishment. Xiaoming always had this weird things.
我们今天在讲到过，各个中气现起的事，
Now let's continue on
依
Lamde.
4个中气而安立过。
The four fruits appearing from
没错。
various main goals.
因为有4个中气，
So establishing the names based on the four main goals.
4中气才能够，这
So
4中气
with the four main goals,
平观
which is for the base empowerment,
无上
inner
密观
tantra empowerment, highest yoga tantra empowerment,
是4个
and
中
great
气，
perfection
得
empowerment,
4个果。
then you would attain four fruitions.
我们今天在谈
Now
眼因
we will continue on
教室禅
B,
定
the
之三
accumulated
境
realm
界
of far course.
一
This is the instruction on the concept of the three accumulation periods of meditation.
禅定
One, the
本
cause
性
of meditation. Second,
San.
the basic nature of
禅
meditation.
定次第
Third, the stages of
功
meditation
德利益
and their merits and
总列
benefits.
教示之故，
Due
诵
to
名
its brief
以
summary,
三级戒理
the verse stated by the concept of the three accumulation periods,
为
all is non-spatial,
说事之言者，
does not have
自
space
然
dimension.
极戒
The
尽
concept
性
of the
者
three accumulation
教示
periods
极戒
includes the natural accumulation
精进者
period of the
尽
destined one,
情
the
极戒
blessed accumulation period of the faithful one, and the assiduous accumulation period of the diligent one.
其实这个他讲的这一句不解
So
释，大家也不知道。
this
Wait.
sentence may not be understood if without explanation.
这个是是吗？读着是吗？数言者自然极尽。
The natural accumulation period of the destined one.
有些人他一出生
Simply, let me
记
explain.
住四种观点。
Some people, when they were born, they were already endowed with the 4 kinds of empowerments.
已经有修行
That in their past lives they have cultivated spiritually and have obtained the 4 kinds of empowerment.
你自然就有四种。
So you're being reborn, and naturally you are already have the 4 kinds of empowerments.
所以这种观点称为自然。
So this kind of empowerment is called natural. This is only for those with sharp spiritual root. As soon as you are born, like many Rinpoches,
他就记住了四种观点。
as they're being born, they're already endowed with these 4 kinds of empowerments. They have a destiny from past lives. So the natural accumulation period of the destined one, it's very natural. Naturally, they have the 4 kinds of empowerments. The second kind is the blessed accumulation period of the faithful one. If you highly respect and have strong faith toward Buddha Dharma, with the blessings of the root guru, you obtain the empowerment. So because you respect and have faith toward Buddha Dharma and you receive the blessings of the root guru, then you receive the empowerment. The third one, the assiduous accumulation period of the diligent one. The diligent one is the one who's very diligent in their practice of the development stages to reach the completion stage. And because you are very diligent, you receive the empowerment. Let me tell you what is empowerment. It allows a lot of good fortunes, merits and virtues on you. But the empowerments also divided into 3. For those with sharp spiritual root, and the one with strong faith and respect, and the third one, the diligent one. And the latter 2 are the gradual cultivation. They have to start from base empowerment to the inner tantra empowerment, and then to the 3rd level of highest yoga tantra empowerment, and to the highest one of the great perfection empowerment. Some people don't have to receive these 4 kinds of empowerments. They have it with them already because they have sharp spiritual root, because they are reincarnated Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, or reborn Rinpoche. So I need to explain this. And there are one kind of people that have received 4 kinds of empowerments, but it's the same as if they have not received any empowerments, because they have no faith, no respect, and no diligence. and their mind and heart are completely on the wealth, fame, sex, sleep, and food. So this kind of people, even if they have received the empowerments, it's as if they have not received any. But some people receive the empowerment by receiving the empowerment because they have the reverence, faith, and diligence. So they have obtained the empowerment. So, but for some, receiving empowerments is the same as not receiving any empowerment. It's useless. So Grandmaster has conferred the empowerment upon you, but you don't practice it. So what use is the empowerment? So then the empowerment is the same as no empowerment. So for the destined one, they naturally receive the empowerment. For the faithful one, they receive the empowerment. And for the diligent one, because of their diligence, they receive the empowerment. So don't be so casual about empowerments. So even if I give you empowerment, sometimes it's the same as no empowerment, because you have no respectful faith or no diligence. So there's no use. So there are different kinds of empowerments. If I don't explain it, you will not know what it really means. So the state of no spatial dimensions are divided into 7. For the natural accumulation period of the destined one, they are the non-spatial awakening of the destined one, the non-spatial chi circulation, the non-spatial kundalini flame, the non-spatial knot opening, the non-spatial area ambrosia, the non-spatial leaking transcendence, and the non-spatial non-leaking transcendence, for a total of 7 of them. Non-spatial or no spatial dimensions. So, for the natural accumulation period of the destined one, there are 7 kinds of no spatial dimensions. Space, spatial. So they naturally experience spiritual experiences. Like Grandmaster at the Jade Emperor Temple, as soon as I kneeled down, I could see Golden Mother, Amitabha Buddha, and Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva. But before that, had I cultivated spiritually? No. So that's the non-spatial awakening of the destined one. You were awakened and you knew. And you could hear the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas talking to you in your ears. So that's due to your past destiny and the awakening. So with the hint, immediately you're very clear what you were. And the non-spatial chi circulation. That's also strange. When I practice the inner fire, I didn't do it very much, and naturally it arises. Then naturally you are able to circulate and direct your qi and the wind. And the inner fire, you have to rely on the wind. It's like the furnace. And with the materials, the wood there, and then you use the wind to blow on it, and then the flame would rises. Then with the qi and the wind, mastery and circulation, naturally the inner fire would arise. That's because you have your destiny from the past lives. And the non-spatial Kundalini flame, naturally you're able to use that furnace. The Kundalini means inner fire. That's Kundalini. Flame would naturally be ignited. And the non-spatial knot opening, those with sharp spiritual root can open the channel knots naturally. The central channel, right and left channels, and all the channels around the body. And what is the knots on the channels? There are lots of knots at the brow chakra, at the throat chakra, at the heart chakra, at the navel chakra. Many knots. And the secret chakra too. There are many channel knots. And they would naturally open. Those are people with sharp spiritual root. Then they are able to do so. And the non-spatial area ambrosia. And naturally you would have the light drops. Naturally inside our bodies we have light drops. Every one of us. But for those with sharp spiritual root, because they have cultivated spiritually for many previous lifetimes, naturally they would have the area ambrosia or light drops. And they would naturally gather the qi and the fire too. And the non-spatial leaking transcendence, because it's leaking, that's called transcendent power. And the highest kind of transcendent power is the non-leaking transcendent power. Only the Buddhas have the complete leakage transcendent power or non-leaking transcendent power. But the leaking transcendence is the transcendent power to be able to see, to hear, to know about your past and future lives, and to know what's in the minds of others, and also for soul travel. Those are all leaking, which means it can end. There's a limit to it. The transcendence or transcendent power has limit, but the non-leaking transcendent power has no limit. So the non-spatial, non-leaking transcendence is the complete leakage transcendent power, which is limitless. So, like for the witch, the ghost witch, that could communicate with the ghost. That's considered the leaking transcendence, which has limit. And the non-leaking transcendence is the kind of transcendent power that has no limit, that belongs to the Buddhas. For a total of 7 of them. If I don't explain it, you would not understand it. So now I explain this. For the non-spatial dimensions. Next, for the blessed accumulation period of the faithful one, the one faithful and respectful toward one's guru, there are also 7 non-spatial qualities. So, by respecting one's gurus and receiving the empowerment, they also have the 7 non-spatial qualities. And for the assiduous accumulation period of the diligent one, who 4 times a day practices meditation of both the development and completion stages, there are also 7 of them. So, because you're faithful and respectful toward your guru, and you receive the empowerment, there are also 7 non-spatial qualities. And if you practice 4 times a day, the development and completion stage meditation, which is the diligent one, for the assiduous accumulation period, there are also 7 of them. So the faithful one and the diligent one, these 2 kinds are practicing gradually according to the development stages and the completion stage. Practicing 4 times a day, they also have 7 non-spatial dimensions. So, for all 3 periods, there are a total of 21 of them. For the one endowed with all 21 non-spatial qualities will attain the goal in this lifetime. The one endowed with 14 of them will attain it in Bardo, and the one with only 7 of them will attain it in 14 lifetimes. Let me explain this part. So those endowed with 21 non-spatial qualities. So you are with sharp spiritual root, and you are also respectful and faithful toward one's guru, and you are very diligent, then very quickly you are able to rise in your goal from the first empowerment to the 4th empowerment. So if you have all 3 kinds, then you can rise very quickly. If you only have 14 of them, or only 7 of the non-spatial qualities, then you will attain it in 14 lifetimes. What does it mean? 14 lifetimes means a long period of time. From the base empowerment to rise to the inner tantra, to highest yoga tantra, to great perfection, it would require you a long period of time. That's what it means. First is the cause of meditation. For the destined one, the faithful one, and the diligent one. Second, the non-spatial qi circulation and the remaining 5 qualities are the basic nature of meditation. And lastly, the non-spatial, non-leaking transcendence is the benefit or the fruit. Now, so if you have the destiny, the faith, or the diligence, all 3 or any one of them is the cause of meditation. For many people, you have to have faith and respect toward the root guru in order to study and practice and train in meditation. If you have the destiny, then naturally you want to meditate. And if you're diligent, of course you also want to meditate. These are all the cause of meditation. Without any of these 3, you don't want to meditate. You don't want to learn or study meditation. So like in the market, the vegetable or fruit market or meat market, do they ever think about meditating? They don't have the destiny, they don't have the affinity, they don't know anything about meditation. So only 3 kinds of people that would know all meditation. One with the sharp spiritual root, the second one with the destiny, or the second one is the one respectful and faithful toward the root guru, and the third one is the diligent one. So those are the cause or the reason for meditation. And the non-spatial qi circulation and the remaining 5 qualities that just mentioned earlier are the basic nature of meditation. So the non-spatial qi circulation and the remaining 5 qualities are the basic nature of meditation. And lastly, the non-spatial, non-leaking transcendence is the benefit or the fruits. So lastly, your fruition at the highest realm is the non-leaking transcendence, complete leakage transcendent power, that you completely leaked all the afflictions and you show the limitless transcendent power. So, because due to the cause of meditation, you practice until all of your afflictions have leaked out completely, then you reach the non-leaking transcendence, which is the highest realm. An elderly man did not like to have photos taken before, so for his funeral, they used his photo from his college time. And one of his sons looked exactly like him, and he was watching the night by the coffin. And his son looked like him. And it's daybreak, so the elderly lady who's sweeping the road looked at the funeral photo and said, "Oh no, died so young, what a pity." And at that time, that son
走出来打个哈欠，
was yawning,
这个欧巴桑
coming out from behind the
看
coffin.
再看看年轻人，
And
这
then
个脸
the
都花青，
the elderly
两腿一
woman
软，
was
就昏过
looking
去
at the
了。
photo, and then the young
年
man
轻人
and
帮他
fainted.
叫救护车，随后也
So the
跟
young
着去
man
看
called
救
an
济。
ambulance and followed
欧巴桑
her.
从病床上醒过来，
So when the elderly
医生
woman
问他
woke up
怎么会晕倒？
her
欧巴桑
sick
在
bed,
人
how did
洪
you
中
faint?
又看到那个年轻人
And she saw that young man
嘴唇发抖的说：“夭寿哦，又追过来。”
in the crack and said, "No way, you're still following me," and then fainted again.
这个是，这当然了，这个父亲跟儿子长得很像的会很多。
So there are many sons who look like their father.
那如果儿子年轻的照片，
If the
儿子年
photo
轻的时候啊，跟他爸爸的这个照片，大部分都是很像，所以难免就有这样子的
sometimes
这个误会。
the young photo of the dad looks similar to the son, so that's why there's this misunderstanding.
这个笑话是这样子，他讲这个很好笑。
This is
乾
funny.
隆皇帝下江南，
The Emperor Qianlong
遇到
went to the
乌龟
south
挡道，
and met
乾
a
隆问
turtle
王
blocking
八
the
们
road.
有何事上奏？
And the emperor asked,
我
Wang
等
Ba,
有
Wang
王八
Ba
蛋
is
进宫，
Wang Ba
以求乌
is
纱帽
turtle,
一顶
but also
是想要做官啊，那个
but
乌龟想要做官，
also
他进贡的东西是王八蛋。
a curse like bastards or cuckold.
好啊，
And then the
哪一
turtle
天
replied
马不拉车，
that, hey, I have
夜不
the
点着，
son of a bitch, which is like the turtle's
就让你
egg,
们
to
全部
offer
打
to the emperor, which is also means son of a
乌
bitch.
龟们
And the
于是
emperor
口
laughed
窃而
and
起
said, well, when one day
乾隆
there's no
皇帝
more
就笑
horses pulling the carts,
这
and
般
then we don't
蠢
have to
王
lit
八
candles in the middle of the
马
night,
什么时候
then
可
we
以不
let
拉
you,
车？
all of you,
夜是如何能
to
够不点
become the
蜡烛？
officials.
这个所有的
Because the
臣子
turtle was
皆称
asking for the
皇上
official
圣明，
post. So the
300
turtle said,
过去了，哪知
thank
道
you.
汽车已经取代了马车，
And the emperor
电灯
laughed.
已经取
You
代
know,
了
when
蜡
would
烛，
there be no horses pulling the carts
也是
and
现在
no
当
need
官
for
我
candle
还真
flames
的
in the middle of
一
the
大
night?
群的乌龟
So,
王
and
八蛋，
everybody praised the emperor. But who knows, 300 years ago, the cars have replaced the horse carts, and the electricity have replaced the
你们稍
candle
微用
flames.
脑
So
筋
now
想一想，
all the sons of the bitch become
低
the
头
officials,
诚实。
government officials.
现在啊，哪
So
一个
think
当
about
官
it.
的
Is there a service servant
是乌龟王八蛋？
that is the
低头想
son
一想
of a，
可以想
bitch,
得出
a
来，
bastard?
真的是
Think
有很
about
多的
it.
乌龟王八蛋当官。
There are many of this turtle eggs or son of a bitch that have become civic servants or government officials.
再讲一个笑话吧。女人20多岁，就像橄榄球，
When woman in her 20s is like a football, over 20 people running around chasing it. When women reach 30, she's like a basketball. Over 10 people running around chasing it. When women reach 40, then she becomes ping pong ball. Only 2 people passing it back and forth. And when a woman reaches 50, she's like a golf ball. The further it gets, the better. I feel that in our spiritual cultivation, we should make the best use of our youth. In the past, someone said, the saying was that don't think that you go for spirituality when you're old, because there are many people who die young. So you should start the Buddhist practice from when you're young. Don't wait until you're old to seek spirituality. That the cemetery sometimes is full with young people. So we don't know when we will die. So we should always think about death, that we would be more diligent in our spiritual cultivation. It's very important for us to be diligent, make best use of time, because very fast we would die. Now that we're still alive, we should practice and cultivate spiritually the best we can. So, talking about aging, your blood and your qi has wilted, and further, the channels and the knots are very difficult to open. And when you want to meditate, when you sit, then you fall asleep. And you always fall asleep every time you sit there practicing. So you might as well get on bed. Lying down, sleeping, of course, is more comfortable than sitting up. And when you get old, as soon as you sit to meditate, you fall asleep. That's why don't wait until you're old to practice. Because when your energy, your qi, and your spirit is very high and energetic, that's the best time to train and practice. When you cannot even open your channels anymore, you cannot move your qi anymore, then that would be too late. This is very important. That's all for today. Thank you very much.